Welcome guys to the Meet Damien live stream. I am Damien, and in today's live stream we're going to be talking about the price of silver making new all-time highs at $117 an ounce. Are you kidding me? Are you nuts? And then gold making new all-time highs, finally hitting $5,000 an ounce, actually getting up to $5,100 an ounce. We'll take a look at silver and gold, and then we'll take a look at the price of Bitcoin. I know I have a big following here that enjoys crypto, but you guys can actually trade silver and gold as well as crypto on MEXC exchange, right? I just click this MEXC exchange here. I am affiliated with MEXC. If you guys want to trade on MEXC, I have a referral code that you can get off of me here. But yeah, let's see, MEXC over here on the futures, right? If you type in XAG, you can trade silver futures. And then if you type in, you type in XAU, and there's gold futures here. And then there's also PAXG, which is another gold futures that you can trade on MEXC exchange. Okay, as well as, of course, you could trade good old Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, and all those other cryptocurrencies as well on MEXC exchange. Okay, but yeah, guys, let me just do a quick volume check here. All right, I can hear myself. I did everything correctly here. We're going to take a look at the price of silver. Currently trading at $103.89. Got as high as $117.38. And I'm looking at the 4-hour chart here just to see, just make things kind of make sense here. Okay, but on the 4-hour chart, the price of silver usually stays right above the 21 EMA, and when it gets too far above it, I would expect it to come right back to the 21 EMA on the 4-hour chart, and that's sitting at like $99.97. I also did a Fibonacci on the price of silver, and we got a 786 retracement that says that silver should come down to $102.85, and I think we already did that in the last 4 hours here. So we already made our little bit of a retracement on silver. If silver was to continue going down further below this 21 EMA, I would expect it to come to the 618 golden pocket here, sitting at like $90, $92. That might be a good area to try to go long silver if you're able to do so. And if you're in a short, that might be where you want to take some profit. If not, you can take some profit at the 21 EMA, or if you haven't done so already, you probably could take profit if you caught the top here on silver at 117 bucks here. Guys, I gotta turn the heat down just a little bit. I'm getting a little bit too hot here. Let me just be with you in 1 minute. Not even a few seconds here. I'm cooking myself here in the hot in my place here. All right. So one reason why I was looking at the 4-hour chart was of interest here to me, because on the market side for B indicator for silver, you can see that we have a red sell dot here that came in, and the money flow is going down. Okay, here on the 1-hour time frame, once again, red sell dot in overbought territory, and then money flow going down here on silver. And then 15-minute time frame, you already had that red sell dot that came in at 1 o'clock this afternoon, 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern time here, and money flow is already in the red here on the 15-minute time frame. So maybe silver is not done correcting yet. I would have to see here on the 15-minute time frame like a green buy dot showing up that shows that the drawdown is done for now. But I think we could probably see silver go down probably to 90 bucks here, which is only another 10% drop from the 10% drop that it did earlier today, right? We had a little bit of a blow off top here, right? Okay, where we saw silver come up. It started the day at like 108 bucks here, but then it just continue going up higher to like 117 here, and that's roughly like a 10% increase in price right there. Now coming down here, let's see, us coming down from 117 to where we are right now, I think that is more than a 10% drop. Oh no, I take that back. It's about a 10% drop, 11% drop here. Okay, so that's what I see here with silver. Thank you for the question there. I forgot who mentioned silver here, but they said in the beginning of the live stream they wanted to know if silver will go down. Manuel Cantillo, thank you for the question there about silver. Let's see, who else do we got here in the chat? 20 American Silver Eagles or a half ounce of gold. Is that, you asking me like which one would I take right now? I mean, wouldn't a half ounce of gold still be worth more than 20 American Silver Eagles? I mean, right now, 20 would be about 100, 1,000, yeah, about 2,100 bucks. But a half ounce of gold is about 2,500 bucks. If you ask me like which one would you give me, I would take the half ounce of gold because it's worth more than 20 ounces of silver. But if you're asking me like which one should you buy to invest in, I mean, I don't give out investment advice. I just go over the charts. I'm not a financial advisor. I don't give out financial advice. You have to figure that out for yourself here, what you want to do. But if you ask me if I was, you know, Damien, what would you want going forward? I think gold is a little bit more stable than silver. Maybe silver might actually go up a little bit higher in price. But you can see as soon as it goes up higher in price, you can get that blow up top where you come back down real quick. So I think gold is a little bit more stable. Let's see, today, well, we don't really have that much for gains here as far as today, but gold, you know, it didn't go up as high as silver did, but it's up there, and there's a reason why gold got up to like $5,000 an ounce, because it does a steady state climb. It climbs up at a steady rate. So I'd be more interested in gold, in my opinion there. Alright, let's see. Angel Nguyen, thank you for following me here on TikTok. Appreciate that. Let's see. I guess we'll go ahead and take a look at the price of gold. It's going to probably be almost the same chart here, but you know, we got to celebrate the fact that gold actually went up to like $5,111. New all-time high was put in today. Looks like it came in here at, well, while we were sleeping here. Monday morning at 1:45 a.m. Eastern time is when gold got up to like 5,111. Kind of like went choppy a little bit here before getting sent down. The sell-off started here at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm not sure what that was all about, but it just happened around that time slot here. Yeah, let's see. You know, I'm looking at the 50-minute chart. Let me get into the 4-hour time frame. I bet you the 4-hour time frame shows the same thing that silver did. And you know, on the 4-hour time frame, as long as you're above the 21 EMA, you're extremely bullish here on gold. Gold could come down to that 21 EMA, that white line at 4,944, and that would be a very good area to try to buy the dip. If that's what you're trying to do, if that's what you're inclined to do here, buy the dip. You can probably get some gold at 4,944 is an idea. It's also an area where we kind of traded sideways back here in on January 22nd here. But I'm going to have to readjust the lines here on the Fibonacci because we actually did climb up higher this time than before. We gotta see if they can adjust us to 5,111 here. So if the price of gold was to dip further down below 49.50 here, we could come back to the 786 retracement at 4,719 bucks here. I'm trying to see if there's any other confluence here at 4,719, but that's the 786 retracement there. Let me look at the VRVP, see the VRVP indicator agrees with any of that. There's a value area high at $4,600, a high volume node here. And this is basically the people that were buying gold in the middle of January here. And that's your floor of support for now if we were to come down. And it's also kind of like right where this 50-day moving average is sitting at 4,640. And if you were to do that here on the price of gold, if you were to drop down to 4,600 bucks there, it's about an 8% drop. So I think, you know, silver or gold could drop like 8 or 10% from where they are right now, and that would be a better buy the dip opportunity on gold and silver versus buying it right now. I mean, buying it right now, you're kind of like joining the mania on gold and silver, and we just don't know if like the 21 EMA is going to hold. You know, if the 21 EMA doesn't hold on gold here on the 4-hour time frame, then yeah, I would expect, you know, gold to at least come back down to like this, you know, sideways trading area at 4,600 bucks here, or even the 786 retracement at 47.19 here. SVRK, I'm not even sure how to say your name, but you said that silver more up or down? Silver more up than down. Well, let's start with the daily time frame here. Well, I gotta get into silver because you just asked for silver, right? So I gotta get out of gold, go back to silver. And I'm gonna get rid of the VP for now. But I want to look at the momentum, because momentum indicator is going to give me direction as to whether it's going to go up or down. And on a daily time frame, you did have a green buy knot here on January 23rd. But here's the problem with these green buy knots. Like, we had a green buy knot here on Tuesday of last week, and then the red sell dot came in the next day. So we don't know if we're going to get a red sell dot. Okay. What I'm more curious is if the money flow here actually going to start decreasing. And it looks like it kind of started curving down here on Sunday, going into Monday here. So that's a little bit of a warning sign here in the daily time frame that we might go down rather than go up on silver. Let's look at the 8 hour and the 4 hour, see what they say. Same thing with 8 hour, you get the money flow coming down, and you also got that red sell dot. What a top signal here, saying that silver is possibly topping out. But the problem is that you actually had top signals before on the 8 hour time frame, and it still didn't really bring the price down. So, you know, this is just probably another local top, and maybe we continue going up higher. Let's see what the 4 hour time frame is showing. Money flow starting to come down, and you got a red sell dot here, top signal. 1 hour time frame, you kind of almost got like a head and shoulder pattern here on the market cipher B momentum. The blue stuff is the momentum here, and the green stuff is this money flow. And money flow is starting to come down, and if it continues this way, you're going to get negative money flow here. And I would expect maybe temporarily going into tomorrow, maybe tomorrow morning, silver price going lower than where it is right now at 103 bucks, because that's what the 1 hour time frame is showing here. And then 30-minute time frame, you are now in the red here on money flow, and green, you know, the green money flow has turned into red here. So I think silver price is going to go down later on tonight, as some people start taking profit on their silver here. Kitty Kush is in here. Yeah, I know I started before 6. I said 6. I was thinking 6 p.m. But then I was like, you know, I'm actually ready to go right now at 5:30. I sent the on the Discord. I said I was ready to go live now. Here on the Discord, this is where I usually make my announcements. And then also on the Meet Damien Twitter, I just put that I'm going live now. So if you follow me on Twitter and you got notifications on, or if you follow me here on you know, Discord, you'll know like when I plan on going live. So, but yeah, I mean, you must have knew like I was thinking about going live at 6 p.m. because I did mention that in the Discord. All right, let's see what else we got going on here for some requests. Looks like Drillin wants to look at Axie Infinity, AXS. I was going to try to take a look at the price of Bitcoin, but I guess we could save that for later. I will try to look at AXS for you since you made that request. I appreciate you coming on the live and making these requests here. And we'll move on from, oh, and we got Manuel wants to look at XRP. All right. I guess we can just keep on, we can just put Bitcoin on the back burner until someone actually says, let's look at Bitcoin. All right. So I already went over gold and silver. I think they're going to go down over later on tonight. You might see some buying opportunities tomorrow morning if you're inclined to buy it. Especially if you see silver go down to 90 bucks, I would try to buy some silver in the low 90s if I wanted to buy the dip here. And then, you know, as far as gold goes, you know, we could see gold go below 5 grand because it's already at 5,009. So maybe 49.50 is where we could buy some cheaper gold right now. I think that would be like a 1% move down in price on gold if we were to do that. Yeah, it'd be about like 1% drop on gold. So I would expect, you know, gold maybe to go down maybe $50 less from where it is right now, and you might get that tomorrow morning or later on tonight. Alright, moving on from gold and silver. We'll take a look at Axie Infinity, right? Is it Axie? You want me to look at Axie Infinity, or is there another, or is this a stock? I'm assuming it's crypto, because most of my guys here like talking about crypto. And we'll get into the daily time frame here for Axie Infinity. Axie Infinity, actually one of the cryptos that's doing pretty well. I noticed that Zcash was also doing pretty well today too. I think Zcash was up. Where is Zcash? Up like 12% today. I mean, if I go into crypto bubbles here, you'll see the ones that actually did well today. The big bubbles here. River went up 12%, Zcash up 13%, Hyperliquid up 14%. I think that's the most out of all these coins. Oh, I take that back. Actually, Pump.Fun actually up 15% today. So there are some cryptos that actually had some pretty good days today. And actually, most of them did. But Axie Infinity also having a really good day here, up 19%. Price at $2.44 right now. Did we say this was a price we were looking for? I believe we were looking at Axie Infinity the other day here. Axie Infinity has a 76 retracement at 252. 252 was the 76 retracement, but we actually went up to 256. So we already hit that 76 retracement, and we might come back down to the 618 at $2.15. Maybe make a higher low to go up to higher prices here. So that's good to see. Axie Infinity actually pulled all the way back down to the 0.5 retracement at $1.90 here, right? Yeah, $1.88. So if I was to get into the 1 hour time frame, it might look a little bit interesting, or maybe the 4 hour time frame you'll be able to see it. But you can see like we already hit these levels here on the prices, right? The Fibonacci, we already hit 215, and we hit $1.90 or $1.88 on the 4 hour time frame here. So looks like the Fibonacci traders are playing this one right now. They're using the Fibonacci to figure out how, when they're going to put their buys and sells here. Now let's look at the market cipher B indicator. Do we have the momentum to go up to higher prices here? On the 4 hour time frame, the MACD is showing seller pressure dying down, and you're about to get a MACD crossover to the upside. So I think Axie Infinity is ready to go to higher prices. If we're allowed to do so, if Bitcoin actually goes up to higher prices, I would expect this thing to go up to higher prices for sure. Let's see what it looks like on the 1 hour time frame. Well, in 1 hour time frame, you had buying pressure early this morning, but then it started dying down. But now buying pressure is starting to increase again. So that's interesting here. On the 1 hour time frame, money flow in the green, but it is now dipping into the red here. So that's a little bit of a warning sign here on the 1 hour time frame. Back to the 4 hour time frame, market cipher B, showing that a green buy dot came here on 11 p.m. Eastern time last night, and money flow starting to increase here. If it continues on the trend, you'll see the money flow flip into green, and you'll know for sure that you should be in a long, or at least continue to watch this asset go to high prices before you start taking some profits. So Axie Infinity just looking good, looking solid in my opinion here. And if it continues to look good and look solid, where is my Fibonacci here? I think 252. Well, we hit that already today, but I think 252, and we'll get hit again, and then 299 is going to be your next target to the upside here for Axie Infinity. And then further upside targets, you might get yourself up to that 1272 at 358 here for Axie Infinity. Alright, so that's Axie Infinity in a nutshell. Let's go ahead and take a look at the next request here, which is XRP. And Manuel Cantillo wants me to look at copper. Okay, I believe that's XCU. We can do that for you, for sure. Yeah. But let me finish up the analysis here on XRP. I didn't even get started on XRP. XRP currently trading at $1.90, up 3.64% today. And what is XRP doing here? Well, XRP is still in a long-term downtrend. I'm not sure if I like that. The fact that you're making lower highs, and some more lower highs. Let me get rid of this Fibonacci. I don't think we need this anymore. I'll get rid of that too. But you're still making lower highs here on XRP. Okay. However, you keep making the same low at $1.77. You just keep testing $1.77 or $1.80. $1.77 here. $1.80 on Sunday and another $1.83 here on Monday here. So XRP respecting this red line on the bottom here that I marked off in the charts. These red lines that I marked off are levels to look for on XRP based off the VRVP indicator. If I click this thing on, you'll see we got high volume nodes at various levels here that I already marked on the charts here. You got the value area high up 242, then you got another high volume node at 220, another high volume node at 204, another high volume node here at $1.92, and then you actually got a point of control here at $1.87, and then you got the value area low here at $1.81, 82, somewhere in that area. So I just marked that off on the chart already as the levels to be looking for here on XRP. If you're going to continue being bullish here on XRP, you got to make it past $1.92 for sure. And then you might get knocked down by this level here at $2.03, which is right where this 21 daily EMA is sitting at. Could push you down initially. Another problem here is this 50-day moving average could act as resistance, and some people might take profit when they see that. XRP is at $2.13. That's where that green line's at. And then, of course, we're gonna have a tough time probably getting past 220 if XRP ever makes it up to that high of a price here in the near future here. So those are the levels to look for XRP. Downside targets, don't lose $1.81 because it could get very nasty and violent for XRP, where we might see XRP come back down to right where we were trading at here in 2024 when it was like $1.40, $1.50, somewhere in this area. Okay, and if that doesn't hold, then there's some sideways trading here at $1.09, $1.10. The people that bought here, they're just going to be at break even if XRP goes to $1.10. And they're not going to click the sell button unless we lose $1.10. So there'll be less selling pressure from these people that bought here for their XRP. But yeah, that's XRP in a nutshell for the most part there, guys. Moving on from XRP, we'll take a look at copper, XCU. I think I got this. Which one? I want XRCU right here. Here we go. We can see that XCU currently trading at $5.94 is extremely bullish. You're above the 200, the 100, the 50-day, and also the 21 EMA here. Anytime you're above all these moving averages, especially on the daily time frame, you're extremely bullish. However, we were threatening not to be extremely bullish here when we came down below the 21 EMA. But then you can see that the buy side candles started coming in here. We got the buy side wicks here, where sellers try to push it down, but then buyers came in, push it back up. Buyers push it down, then push it back up. Sellers came down, push it down, and buyers came and push it back up. Sellers came down one more time here, pushed it back up on Thursday. You created like a hammer candle, which is actually a reversal candle. Had some follow through here on Friday. And then a little bit of follow through here on Monday, but it looks like on Monday here we're actually creating a red candle here, even though we started off. We opened the day here at 607, kind of gapped up a little bit, then went higher. Now we're going back lower here, but this could still be, funny enough, I've seen red candles that look like this, where you get a red candle, but you gap up the next day, create another red candle, gap up the next day, create another red candle. And the price could still continue going up on copper here. Let's go ahead and create a Fibonacci here to figure out how much higher copper could possibly go here. Measure from the swing high down to the swing low, down like right over here, I believe. I'll put it at that for now. We're already at the 786 retracement here at $5.92. Is where we're chilling out at here on copper, but doing a shallow retracement, that's actually very bullish here to see that. So copper came down, and we actually did go to the 618 at 572, 573, and now we're just chilling out near the 786 retracement at 592. And can we just climb ourselves back up to 619 like we saw? Actually, no. What do we got up as high? So yeah, 619 back here in January 14th. Because if we are able to climb up to these prices here, then I think the next level to look out for is that 1272 at $6.53. And then maybe later on this year you might see 696. That's the 1618 Fibonacci extension here for copper. Those are some ideas to try to take some profit if you got some copper on you right now. Alrighty. I didn't really cover downside targets, but downside targets, you know, we could revisit the 618 one more time here at 572. And another normal retracement is the 0.5 retracement at 557. I don't really see anything here that shows 557 other than the Fibonacci here. I do see something interesting here. You got the 50-day moving average at 524, which is confluent with a 0.236. So maybe if copper just all of a sudden just drops like a rock on us, you know, we could get some support off that green line there at $5.24. Let me go through on the VRVP indicator to see what that shows here for copper. VRVP indicator shows there's some high volume at 543, 535. Not really much high volume. There's some volume here, but not really that much of a high volume node at 524. Definitely got a lot of volume here. The point of control sitting at 504. I think when copper does go down to $5, if it does go down to $5, that will be a support area for copper for sure. I think people will be happier to buy copper at $5 than 6 or 7. But yeah, copper doesn't really do as much of a high-flying move as like gold and silver because there's just so much more copper out there than there is gold and silver. Let's look at the market cipher B real quick here on copper. You can see that we got a green bot out here on Friday, but however, you do got money flow in the red. But this could, you know, if we see copper go up in price, then that money flow will get out of the red and go right back to green again here in the daily time frame. And then here in the MACD, the buying pressure turned into selling pressure here, and the selling pressure is now starting to die off in the last couple of days here. You want to see this continue dying off, and if you see it continue dying off, then you'll eventually see this blue line turn up and go past this orange line to the upside, and that'll be a MACD crossover to the upside, kind of like you got right here in November of last year. If you see that, then you know you can stay long and strong and continue to watch the price of copper go up to higher prices here. Because, like, you know, this is what it looked like back in November, right? This is November here in copper, where we just climbed up and all the going into December, and of course here we are in January and we're still climbing up. So if you see that MACD crossover to the upside on copper, then yeah, you might see, you know, copper go from $6 to $7 here. Alright, so that's price of copper in a nutshell there. Let's go ahead and take a look at Bitcoin, since we usually look at Bitcoin, but we haven't done that yet today. Bitcoin currently trading at 88K, 88,000 even for the most part, up 1.6% today. I did do a bull versus bear debate yesterday with Porky Flounder 65 on YouTube and TikTok last night. That was like a little bit of a treat, a little bit special. We might try to do another Sunday night debate between me and Porky, maybe next Sunday, or, you know, one of these Sundays or one of these days here. But anyways, let's get back into the analysis here on Bitcoin. I am still overall bearish on Bitcoin because you are below the 200-day, the 100-day, the 50-day moving average, or even below the 21 EMA, this white line here. I know I got a bunch of lines here, but that 21 EMA, this white line, it's going to act as a problem if we ever do get back up there. I think if you're interested in shorting Bitcoin, I'm not sure if you should enter right now unless you're looking for a day trade, scalp trade. But if you're entering a swing trade short on Bitcoin and you want to hold it for like more than a day or two, then I would probably like to short Bitcoin at 90K, 90,500 or 91,400, because that's where the 21 EMA is hanging out at, and I think that's going to act as resistance. It might not act as resistance. We might pop our head above it, go up to like 92, 93K, and then, you know, kind of do a little throwback, and come back to lower prices here. But we could actually go up to that 21 EMA and get rejected immediately. Or we might not even make it to the 21 EMA. We might try to get back up to the 21 EMA, get front run by a bunch of short sellers and bears that will push us down before we even get up to 91,400. That's why I think 90,500 is another idea for a short. If you're able to get it, you know, Bitcoin up to those prices and actually short it at that level, that's a good strategic short. And another good strategic short, 91,400. And when I enter these shorts on Bitcoin, I usually do like 40x leverage, and I'll put like the stop loss like $500 above where I enter the short. So in this case, if I was to short 90,500, I would actually put the stop loss at 91k. And if I was to short 91,400, I'd actually put the stop loss at 92k. And then hopefully I don't get stomped down and I can actually see this thing come right back down again. And I would probably take profit at 87k if I got in at 90 or 91k. And I would probably take more profit at 84k if we actually go down and break below 87k. 84,500 is another area of support here for Bitcoin. Now, if we were to go down to $84,500, I'd be looking for longs. Okay, because 84,500 has acted as support before here on December 18th. And you have a little bit of support here. You have a candle body close here at 84,500 in November. So this is where, you know, we came down, but we never stayed there for longer than one day at 84,500 here. So I'd be looking for longs if Bitcoin gets below 85k here. And those are good strategic longs. Like, you could also long Bitcoin right now, but it'd be like a day trade, scalp trade, right? And you're in it for today. You get out before the end of the day, before you go to bed. And hopefully you made some money in the process there. But, you know, if you want to swing trade long, if you want to be in like a trade that's going to last more than one day, and you want to be in it for more than, you know, one day and use some leverage, I'd probably look for Bitcoin at 84,500 as a better area where you'll get probably a nice violent reaction that will take you back up to 87k one more time. But yeah, let me show you guys here on WEEX exchange the longs that I have and shorts that I have on Bitcoin, because I already got these things ready to go here on the open orders. This is WEEX exchange, guys, for my TikTok guys. You can see WEEX right there is the cryptocurrency exchange that I like to trade on, and I got some orders ready to go here where you know, I will short Bitcoin, right, if it gets up to 90,500. However, I will long Bitcoin if it does go down to 84,500. And then you can see here's my take profit stop losses here. Now, if Bitcoin goes down to 84k, my stop loss will be like 83,800, and my take profit will be like 87 or 88. Well, in this case, I thought 88k would be a good area, but maybe 87k. I can always change my mind later. And then, as far as the short goes, if Bitcoin does go to 90,500, I'll put the stop loss $500 above it at 91k, and I'm going to try to take this down to 84,500 if I can. Okay, on the short. That's if Bitcoin does go up to that level. Alrighty. So yeah, I got some ideas here for Bitcoin. Oh, I got this over here, 88,600. Oh, okay, I think I already did that though. I think I got in earlier today. Oh no, actually, if Bitcoin, let me click on Bitcoin here. What is Bitcoin at right now? $88,000 Bitcoin. Okay, so if Bitcoin actually goes up to 88,600 for my day trading, if I'm not doing a swing trade, but you know, just for a day trade here, I would like to short Bitcoin at 88,600. I got my stop loss at 88,900, really tight, and I would try to take it down to 84,500 if I can. But let's see, I'm actually in a short on Bitcoin, I believe, and I don't think I'm in profit right now. Yeah, I'm down a little bit here on the short. I shorted Bitcoin at 87,700. Right now we're at 88,000, so we're like $300 above where I got in on the Bitcoin short, and I'm down like 17%. So this is just, you know, start of a new trade here, and I'm down $8 here with like $48 a margin. Nothing too crazy. I am trying to get into more of a short if we go up to higher prices here. That's why I got that $88,600 short ready to go here if we actually get up to that price there. So yeah, there you guys go. And I made these decisions earlier today as to why I wanted to short Bitcoin. I still think Bitcoin could go to low prices here, just because it's in a downtrend, just because it's below a lot of the moving averages on the daily time frame. Here on the MACD, you can see that selling pressure was pretty strong here on Bitcoin over the last few days, last couple of weeks. However, selling pressure kind of dying down, but you know, selling pressure could continue dying down while the price is going down every single day. So just be on the lookout for that. Also, selling pressure could start increasing out of nowhere again, like you saw like here. Like selling pressure started dying down and then it increased here in November. So that's what I see at the daily time frame here. And then on market cipher B, red sold out here on Saturday, January 17th, about a couple of Saturdays ago. And money flow is still in the red and negative here on the daily time frame. So that's why I think, you know, Bitcoin wants to go down rather than up. Today kind of seems like a fluke, maybe a you know, short covering rally here, maybe like a false move Monday or something like that, where you know they try to make us think that Bitcoin's going to go up today, only for them to dump on us later on tonight or tomorrow. All right, I see Tariq is in the chat. Good to see you, Tariq. And Dan says, did you get in on that Penguin coin? Not sure whether to buy. LOL. Thoughts? I heard about Penguin coin, which is interesting because there's already like a Pudgy Penguins coin, but now there's just strictly just a Penguin coin. That I don't know much about. I think it recently started trading this week or last week. I'll try to find Penguin coin. Let's see. Alright, so we got Penguin coin, relatively new coin that just started trading here on MEXC exchange last Thursday. So I don't know what to do with this. There's not much data for me to use. There's no moving averages. The only thing I can do is maybe a VRVP indicator, which I'm not sure how useful this is, but majority of people bought this coin before you did at 42.65 is what we'll call it. So they got in about less than a half a penny here. And there's a lot of volume here, like 0.07 pennies and then 0.09 pennies. And then you got the value of your high at 11 pennies. So that could be an area of resistance above us, and then support is at 8 and 9 cents here. Well, let me get rid of the VRVP indicator. And the only other thing I could do here, since this is a relatively brand new asset, brand new coin, is I can do a Fibonacci on this to get like levels that this thing might come down to. And it looks like we already hit the 0.382 retracement at 0.068 pennies. We actually came down to 0.067 pennies. So we already hit the retracement. And if this thing is going to continue climbing up to higher prices, I would expect the 786 retracement to get hit at 13 pennies here. That's actually 0.137 pennies to be exact. And then maybe we can climb back up to 17 pennies here like we saw here on Saturday. And then after that, if we are able to get past 17 cents, the next target is 22 cents. And then you got the 27 cent area target for a 1618 on Penguin here. But yeah, I don't know if there's not really much I could do as far as analyzing this coin. Maybe I can go into 1 hour time frame and there might be some movement averages showing up like you see right here. And then I can also look at the MACD to see if the buying pressure is still in to keep you going to higher prices here. And you had selling pressure over the weekend, over on Sunday, and now buying pressure showing up here on Monday. So maybe this thing does want to go up later on tonight, going into tomorrow. Market cipher B has a green buy dot here, and money flow in the green. Usually, you know, if the MACD says price is going up, then usually market cipher B also says the same thing. But I also like to pay attention to the money flow. And yeah, this is good to see that money flow is in the green now again on the 1 hour time frame for Penguin. So I think Penguin could go up to higher prices here. And we already said targets to the upside is 17 cents. Well, 13.137 pennies and then 17 cents. Those are your near-term targets for Penguin here. So my thoughts is that this coin could still go up based on what I saw in the 1 hour time frame. Oh, you're welcome, Dan. Don't forget to smash that like button. All you gotta do is double tap your screen to send in those likes. Right now I'm at like 280 likes. Let's see if we can get up to like 500 or 1,000 likes there. And don't forget to follow me here, the Meet Damien channel. If you don't follow me now, you gotta click on my profile picture on the top left. But if you don't follow me now, you might not get the real Meet Damien. There's some fakes out there. There's some people trying to pretend to be me, but you know this is the real Meet Damien because I'm live right now. And you can see me right here. Okay, so go ahead and follow me here before you forget to do so. All right, I see that you did that. Appreciate that, Dan. Thank you. Yeah, so you got the real Meet Damien. You're not gonna get scanned by me because you got the real account right here. All right, all right. Let's see what else we got here. We did see that Zcash was looking pretty interesting here because they actually catching some bids up 12% today. Let's take a look at Zcash right now. Zcash currently trading at $369, up 12% today, up 40 bucks today. We saw Zcash at 327 earlier today, and yesterday we saw it at 324. So looks like Zcash is actually catching some support off the 100 moving average here. This blue line that's curving up. You know, 100 is above the 200. Had we not done that, then I think, you know, Zcash could have probably come down to the 200-day moving average and catch some support. But it's nice to see that this is actually catching support right now. Now, to the upside, we could get pushed down by that 21 EMA above us at 394. This is white line right here. And then we also got the an area of interest at 407 is an area where we could get rejected off of for Zcash here. Why 407? Well, if I zoom out and I turn on this VRV indicator, you'll see that there's a high volume node at 407. Yeah, you can see that right here, this blue line and also the red line. But the blue line is your point of control, your POC. It's the highest amount of volume. A majority of people that bought Zcash over the last few months, they bought it at 407. Okay. The VRV indicator takes this data into account. You got the buys is the green area and the sells is this red or magenta area. And when you add them all together at these specific price points, you get some high volume nodes to look at here. As you see, let me get rid of the movement averages for now. But you see, you know, high volume here, and the highest volume node is at 407. And because that's above you, that's going to act as resistance here for Zcash. Yeah. So I would take profit on any longs on Zcash at 407, 409 for sure. If that's what you're doing. Hopefully you were able to long yesterday in the 320s or the 330s, because you're in the green for sure on Zcash right now. Now Zcash was to like roll over and die off on us. I would expect, you know, 327, 323 to act as support initially. And if it doesn't, then, you know, there is some high volume down here at like 275. Oof, that would suck. But you see the volume drops off on the VRVP indicator and you don't get any support until 275. You'll get support anywhere between 242 and 275, and that should be your support area. And that's basically where Zcash was trading at back here in October, November. It's like that's the reason why you're gonna get support at that area if it does drop down to those prices. So I think a downside target for Zcash 275. Well, 327 initially, but then 275 if 327 can't hold. And then upside targets for Zcash is going to be this 407 area up above us. And if you push past that, then there's another high volume node here at 446, 440s. The 440s, 430, 440 could be your next take profit target for Zcash once you get past 407. All right. How you guys liking the volume here? I was thinking about turning the volume up a little bit so my TikTok guys can hear. But my YouTube guys, you guys have been very quiet over there. You guys are just watching me, not saying anything. But yeah, Goody Kush said something, but I think I might have thrown some people off because usually I live stream between 4 to 6 p.m. Yesterday, I did a live at like 5 p.m. with another TikTok creator. His name is Porky Flounder. Maybe I can show you guys real quick here. But that's me right there on YouTube. And then there was Porky Flounder came on and did a collab stream with me yesterday, and that was pretty cool. Porky's got like 1,600 subscribers here on YouTube. He's another crypto YouTuber, and he's also on TikTok as well. For you TikTok guys, you can find Porky Flounder. He's another crypto and stock guy. It's good to get another person's opinion. Porky's a little bit more bullish on Bitcoin and crypto than I am. I'm a little bit more bearish on Bitcoin and crypto than he is. But it's good to get two different takes from two different people, and then you gotta figure out for yourself what sounds like might be the best answer for your portfolio. I know if you're still in crypto and you're hoping for it to go to higher prices, you probably want to hear about the bullish case. But sometimes it's good to hear the bearish case to figure out what if things don't play out that way and things actually go down. Wouldn't you want to know what the downside targets are? And I know Porky's downside target on Bitcoin is he thinks we could get support off at 80K, but he'd be surprised if Bitcoin goes lower than 70K. I think Bitcoin could go down to 70K, and I think 60K on Bitcoin could possibly be where Bitcoin ends up later on this year, to be honest with you. It'd be about a 50% drop from the all-time high, which has happened before in previous cycles in Bitcoin, and would be kind of expected for us to hit at least once if we are in a bear market here. Because it can get nasty and brutal in Bitcoin world, in cryptocurrency world, and a 50% drop is just normal during a bear market. 70 or 80% has happened in Bitcoin as well, as far as bear markets go, as far as dropping from all-time high to bear market low. And I should probably look at Bitcoin while I'm talking about this, right? And then also 90% drops have happened here in Bitcoin in previous cycles as well from the all-time high. But let me just show you guys here as I zoom out on the price of Bitcoin here, what the VRVP indicator says as far as how low we could go with Bitcoin. And you can see the high volume nodes here. There's a lot of volume here at 67K. That's actually the number that I think we can go down to on Bitcoin. If we lose, the 80s, obviously, if we lose $80,000 Bitcoin, there's really not that much support. Some people said 74K could hit because that was the low back in April of last year. But there's a lot more support for Bitcoin if it does start dipping below 70K and gets into 69, 68, 67K. A lot of support for Bitcoin there. Because we got a bunch of people that bought Bitcoin at 67K in March and April of 2024, June of 2024. Those people are still in profit right now. But if Bitcoin was to drop down to 67K, they'll be at break even. They're not going to hit the sell button unless we lose 67K. And then there's some more high volume here at 63K. And even more volume at 60K and 58K. So this volume, big volume here. You just call this one big volume node from between 58K to 67K. That's going to be a good support area for Bitcoin if it does go into the bear market here. But if for some reason we lose 57K here on Bitcoin, there is a little bit of volume here at 51K. And then you got a lot more volume. You got a significant volume node here at 43K. I actually told Porky on my live stream yesterday when we were talking to each other and debating the bull versus bear argument on Bitcoin. I told Porky, I said, I could see Bitcoin going down to 43K, 42K. And that makes sense because that's the area that Bitcoin was at in January 2024 when the Bitcoin ETF went live. A lot of people bought Bitcoin around that area, including the banks and institutions. And they're not going to click the sell button if they're just 42K and break even. It would have to push past 42K and go down to 39 or 38K for them to panic sell and get out of Bitcoin. Alright, so ideally, what I can see here, if we do go into a bear market on Bitcoin, 67K to 57K gonna be target to look for maybe later on, maybe the summer or something like that. And if we continue in the bear market past the summer and we go lower on Bitcoin, then I think 42K is where the bear market low might be, and that might happen October next year. or somewhere, you know, usually the bear market low comes about a year after, 12 months after the all-time high in Bitcoin. So that's something. If that holds true again, then that means, you know, October 2026 is where Bitcoin will bottom out. Because I know back in 2021 we topped out in November, and then 2022, November of 2022 is when we actually hit the bear market low on Bitcoin, and that's when FTX went bankrupt and sent Bitcoin all the way down like 15K. You guys remember that, right? Back in 2022. You can see we hit the bear market lows in November of 2022 when Bitcoin was at like 15K here. And that was about a year after we hit the all-time highs here in November of 2021 when Bitcoin was at 69K. So if there's going to be another bear market in Bitcoin, usually it takes a while to bleed out until you hit rock bottom on Bitcoin. It takes about like 12 months to a year. And if Bitcoin topped out in October 2026, I mean October 2025, we're only like 3 months into this bear market. So in this case, it would be like kind of similar to like February of 2022. And you know, in February 2022, right, we had some bear flags going on here, and then Bitcoin actually tried to like do something here where it went to higher prices here. Then went back down again, went up, went down, up, down, getting chopped out, killing the bulls and the bears. As far as like, you know, like the money making moves is when you're able to like catch a short during these bear markets, where you get that nice juicy red day where you're down 10% in one day on Bitcoin. Okay, and that happened a few times here in 2022, like 7%, 10% down days here. Very rarely do you see like a green candle that shoots up like 10%, but that can happen too. But it's like this red candle got canceled out by the green candle. Then we went sideways for a little bit. Then we went back down again. Went up again with a green candle here in February, only for us to get sent back down with a red candle, a few red candles in March of 2022. So yeah, that's what a bear market looks like for Bitcoin, and we could be seeing that going on later on this month, going to next month. Could see Bitcoin go back up to 90K, even 96K, come right back down to 85K all over again. And some people that I know still call this a bull market. Yeah, Bitcoin is down 30% from where the all-time high was at 126K. Yeah, that's not bullish in my opinion. Making lower highs is not a bull market. You gotta make higher highs. Okay, I was still saying that Bitcoin was in a bull market when it was marginally making higher highs here in 2025, where you got up to like 123K here in July, then here in August 124K, and then November you got up to 126K. Yeah, that's still making higher highs. But now you're making lower highs here in the daily time frame, and this could be considered a lower high here at 97K on January 14th. But guys, let me know. Put a 1 in the chat if you think we're bullish on Bitcoin and crypto. Put a 2 in the chat if you think we're in a bear market on crypto and Bitcoin. I want to see what your sentiment is here, guys, because my sentiment is I'm bearish on Bitcoin and crypto, but you can still make money in a bear market. You just got to find out the key areas to go long. I already gave you the key areas here on Bitcoin, right? I told you, like, we should try to long below where we're at 84K, 84,500, that red number, or I mean 87,500 was an idea here, but we already hit that already. And then I would try to look for taking profit on the longs when we get to 90,500 or 91,400. I would look to take some profit on the longs and then flip into a short and try to see if we can make some money on the way down for the day trading here. Let me see what else you guys are saying here. Crypt Tupac. I don't think he's a big fan of what I'm saying here about being in a bear market. He says, nah, never been. Bro, chill. You know, you can tell me to chill, but that's going to stop the price from going down. The price is going to go down. It's going to go down whether I chill out or not. I'm only looking at what I see in the charts here, and then using a little bit of chart history to figure out where Bitcoin is in its cycle. If we're still going to call this a 4-year cycle, I think we're well past the highs, and I don't think we're going to make a new all-time high in Bitcoin this year. I'd be pleasantly surprised if we did. But you tell me, are we going to make a new all-time high or not here on Bitcoin? Because that's just my opinion. But you guys can tell me if you think we're gonna make a new all-time high or not. Hey, Mark Dutch, how you doing, Mark? Porky sent you here. Really? That's cool. Porky, I mean Mark, what is your sentiment? Are you bullish or bearish on Bitcoin and crypto? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Maybe you guys can change my mind and change my opinion here about being bearish and bullish here. Because I'm bearish, but I want to be bullish. I can't, because we're making lower highs here on Bitcoin on the daily time frame. I already talked about this earlier. And then since I'm on the subject of being bearish here on Bitcoin, if you look at the market cipher B, money flows in the negative here on the daily time frame. Selling pressure has been red like the past week here, and you got the MACD crossover to the downside. What would make me a little bit bullish again here on Bitcoin is if this blue line started curving back up, but you're not getting that right now here on Bitcoin on the daily time frame. You need the blue line to curve up to cross the orange line to the upside to get a MACD crossover to the upside, kind of like you did right here in the end of November. And then of course you got buying pressure showing up in December and January here. But look, now the MACD crossovers to the downside, and it could take a while for us to be bullish again here. This is not good, in my opinion, here on the MACD. And market cipher B, I already showed you here. Market cipher B told you to sell Bitcoin on Saturday, January 17th. Money flow is coming down, and now it's in the negative. And then it gets kind of bad here in the larger time frames. On the 3-day time frame, you can see that whatever this was for the crypto rally that we had here in January, the buying pressure is dying down here, and the blue line is starting to curve down. If that blue line curves down and hits the orange line and gets a MACD crossover to the downside, it's game over on this cryptocurrency rally, this little relief rally that we got here in January. And then going into the 5-day chart, you see that the selling pressure died down, and you have buying pressure coming in. That was good to see for a little bit here in January. But this is weak sauce. This isn't the same kind of buying pressure that you had back in May, June, and July of last year, when Bitcoin went to 123 and then 124K. This is weak sauce. This is not good enough to go to higher prices on the 5-day chart here. And then here on market cipher B, money flow has been in the negative here in the 5-day time frame here, all throughout like November, December, and January. Even though we've been getting a little bit of a relief rally, it's still been negative on the money flow. You haven't really had green money flow since like May, June, and July. Last summer is when you had money flow in the green here on the 5-day time frame. You have a little bit of a saving grace here. You have a green buy dot here that says that maybe things might be different. You might get a little bit of upward price action here. But look, I mean, green could be canceled out the next week. It could be canceled out with a red dot here, and then that gets canceled out by a green dot, which then gets canceled out by the red dot. But this was like December, and remember, like December was kind of crazy, where it was like up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Well, that's what showed up here in the charts. You got green, red, green, red, green, red. It looks like Christmas, right? You got Christmas lights here, green and red. Okay, and we could get red, which we had, followed by green, which could then be followed by another red dot here. So I'm not sure if these dots are really that significant here on the 5-day time frame. What's more significant here is the money flow has been negative, and yes, money flow is starting to increase here, but I need to see money flow go green for me to be somewhat bullish on Bitcoin here. Let's see. You're saying, Mark Dutch, you're sticking to your $102,000 prediction. You say that we only need gold and silver to come down a bit first. Gold and silver, they are coming down tonight. We talked about that early in the live stream. where, you know, just looking at the 1 hour time frame for gold and silver, it was looking like we could come down. But actually, I think gold just went up higher than where I started the live stream off at. Let's go into that 1 hour time frame so you can see what I was talking about here. But gold and silver, they have their corrections, and then they end up getting bought. The dips get bought on gold and silver. Let's see, 1 hour time frame. I was looking at the MACD, I believe, earlier. Yeah, so selling pressure did die down, and now selling pressure kind of dying off. Looks like selling pressure is kind of dying off here a little bit on this 1 hour candle here. Let's see what the 4 hour time frame here looks like. 4 hour time frame, the MACD shows that the buying pressure died down, but look, we could get the same thing that happened here last Thursday, where buying pressure died down. Then you got a little bit of a red candle here on Thursday, but then we know what happened this weekend. We got the buying pressure coming back in on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and that's why gold went up to new all-time highs again. So this could end up being just a little bit of a buy to dip opportunity here on gold, and then we see gold go up to like $51, $52, $5,300 later on this week. And that's like a less than a 5% move for gold. Gold could do that, you know, 1% every day for the next 5 days and just go up 5% from here. So I don't know. I'm not sure how hopeful I am about, you know, gold getting sold off and then having that money go straight into Bitcoin. What makes you think that the money from gold is going to go right into Bitcoin? It could go into stocks. It could go into other commodities. It could go into copper, you know, or platinum. It doesn't have to strictly go into gold and silver. There probably are some cryptocurrency investors that got turned off by Bitcoin dropping, you know, 33% in 1 month or whatever, and then they decided to go play in gold. And maybe if gold starts selling off and they get burned on gold after they just got burned on Bitcoin, maybe they go back to Bitcoin again and start buying Bitcoin again. But I don't know how many of them there are out there that actually push the price up. So Mark, what is your thesis? If gold and silver has to come down first, how does that translate into Bitcoin going to 102K? I'm just trying to get your thoughts. I'm not saying that you're right or wrong. I'm just trying to understand your thesis, because maybe I can adopt that thesis if it makes sense to me, or I can just pay attention to it to see if it plays out that way. But I'm just curious, like, what is your thesis there? Or maybe someone else told you, and then maybe I can go watch their video or something. Like, I'm just curious. Gretzky, thank you for liking the live here. I appreciate that here on TikTok. Thank you. We got 6 new followers here on TikTok. Appreciate that, guys, for following me here on TikTok. We got 612 likes here on TikTok. Let's see if we can get that likes to jump up to at least 1,000 likes here. I know I kind of threw my normal crowd off. I usually go live at 4 p.m., but I got stuck shoveling snow here in Massachusetts, is where I'm from. And I had to not only shovel snow from where I'm at, but I'm also a landlord, so I had to shovel snow off the stairs and the sidewalks of the house that I own, and I had to travel to go there too, and it's about an hour. And remember, I can't travel fast because there's snow on the roads too, so it's like an hour to get there, an hour to come back, and I took out a couple hours out of my day here, just being a landlord, and then I'm trying to do a live stream here for you guys as well. But I appreciate you guys coming on to the live stream, and at least what you guys can do is just smash that like button if you haven't done so already. Mark Does says investors ran for safety of metals because of economic Trump worries. When the trust in the global markets returns, people run for risky assets again. That's possible, maybe. And they might just run to Bitcoin. But I don't know if they're actually going to run into altcoins, because there's just too many altcoins to choose from at this point. Have you ever looked at the numbers for how many meme coins get created from Pump.Fun? It's ridiculous. I think they make like 20,000 new meme coins every single day. So every dollar that goes into crypto, people have like 20,000 new choices every single day to look at. There's like over like 1 million altcoins out there now. But yeah, I think, you know, they should start by looking at Bitcoin first if they want to look for a risky asset. That could get them good returns here. And actually hold on to those returns too, because you could get into those meme coins and altcoins and be a hero for one day and then be a zero the next day when the meme coin gets rug pulled on you. Alt season is a myth. That's so 2020. Yeah. 2020, 2021. Alt season was also pretty good during 2017. But there weren't that really many altcoins to choose from. There was like XRP and Ethereum. Cardano was around that time. Litecoin. But like Solana and Sui and some of these other coins, Aerodrome, Finance, they weren't around back in 2017. AVAX wasn't even around during 2017. So the market was a lot more concentrated. Now granted, there was less people to actually buy the coins because people were still skeptical about crypto, but you can focus your strengths on 1 or 2 coins and make a lot of money. Like when I first got involved in Bitcoin and Ethereum, in crypto, I chose Bitcoin and Ethereum as my first 2 assets to get involved. And then once I started learning more about crypto, there really weren't that many choices, and I actually bought Litecoin and XRP as the other, you know, altcoins that I got involved in back in 2017. Then I remember when Bitcoin Cash came into play around like I think October of 2017, and that was cool and new and whatnot. Bitcoin Cash went up to like $3,600 at that time. Let me see if I can pull up Bitcoin Cash right now. What is Bitcoin Cash trading at right now these days? It's not at $3,000 right now. Bitcoin Cash, you can find it for like 579 bucks here. But there was a time, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, there was a time when Bitcoin Cash did some crazy, ridiculous shit. Back in 2017, when we saw, you know, Bitcoin Cash go up to like $4,300. I said 3,600, because I remember seeing those numbers. But apparently, it got up to like 4,300 bucks here on Coinbase Exchange. And you'll never see those prices again. Not for a while, if at least. Okay? Because now there's just too many coins to choose from. Not only is there Bitcoin Cash, but there's Bitcoin Gold. Did you guys hear about Bitcoin Gold? There's Bitcoin Gold. Then there's Bitcoin Cash Satoshi Vision, which is another Bitcoin Cash. Ugh. So like all these altcoins are just diluting the money out of each other. And Bitcoin seems to be the only one that can actually make new all-time highs. Because Bitcoin Cash ain't making new all-time highs, I'll tell you that. It's not at $4,000. Can't even get back up to $1,000. Like back here in 2021, we saw Bitcoin Cash get up to like 1,600 bucks here, but you know it didn't do that in 2024, and it didn't do that during 2025 either. Jay's in the chat. Jay says APLD for a request here. Okay. Man, if I wasn't gonna get any more requests here, I was actually gonna pack up and go home for the live stream here. Well, I'm already home right now, but I was about to end the live stream soon here. But I'll take a look at APLD for you, Jay. Appreciate you coming in. I know my scheduling got messed up today because I usually go live at like 4 p.m. Eastern time. But I had to go shovel some snow. Not only did I shovel snow where I live, but I had to shovel snow at the house that I own, where my tenants are living at, because I'm a landlord. And you know, I could probably get there in 30 minutes or 40 minutes if I didn't have to, you know, drive so slow. But I had to drive slow because of the snow. So it took me like an hour to get there, an hour to come back, and then of course, you know, maybe like 30 minutes of shoveling. And yeah, that's 2.5 hours on my day that got killed. So my time slot got messed up here. But I'm still here for you guys. And we're now looking at APLD, but let me get into the daily time frame so things look a little bit better here. Okay, so APLD, did we hit 40 bucks today? We did. We hit $41. Did you take some profits today, Jay? Because we were talking about, you know, this thing, if it's going to be bullish, it's going to retest $40 like it did back in October. So today was your day to sell some APLD. Now we're probably going to come back and retest the 786 retracement all over again. Let me get rid of the BRB now. But we're going to probably test this blue number here at $34.53. If we're going to do a little bit of a correction here. And maybe we come back to $40 one more time. So I think this thing is now going to try to create a bull flag here, as we maybe create some higher lows, but creates basically the same highs at $40 here. So it might look something like this, just game planning things out here. We might see like $40 be like, you know, the high point here. And, you know, in the meantime, we might create some higher lows here and create like a bull pennant. Alright, or some people might call it a bull flag here. And if this is a bull flag here, right, then you just take that flagpole, you put it on top of the pennant here. It gives you an idea of like how high this thing could possibly go using trend analysis. And you'll probably get up to this blue number at $59, which is confluent with this 1618 at $56. That's your next target for Applied Digital, probably later on in 2026, or I don't know, in the next few weeks, 2 months, I don't know. Another target to the upside is $47. This is most likely to get hit before you get to $56 here. So those are your upside targets for Applied Digital. Now, are we going to actually continue going up? I got to look at the momentum indicators to figure that out here. On the daily time frame, the MACD is showing buying pressure here. It was selling off, but then buying pressure started increasing last Friday. And now buying pressure is still here. It hasn't gone away yet. And it was enough for you to go up back to retest the all-time highs at $40 here and actually make a new all-time high. So that's good to see. Just don't lose your buying pressure. However, here on Market Cipher B, money flow is dying off here. Money flow is decreasing here on APLD, and you got a red cell dot. So that's like kind of like a caution light, a warning signal that APLD could go to low prices. And if it does go to low prices, I already said, you know, $34 is knocking on the door right now for lower prices here. But then I think we could still hit that 618 golden pocket at $30 here. $30 or $31 is probably the next target to the downside if we do go further down below than $34 here. But yeah, guys, I think I'm gonna end the live stream. You know, I don't know, maybe when I title the video gold and silver, I don't really get that many people. Maybe because my live stream got restricted yesterday for whatever reason. TikTok is not sending people to me today, so whatever. My YouTube stream actually, it looks pretty decent. We got a few people here, but I know there could be more than this. But I don't have any more requests here, so there's no point in me just sticking around and hanging around for no reason here. So I'm just gonna call that a live stream, guys. And yeah, I wish you guys the best of luck. And Mark says I should need to put XRP or Pepe. You know what? That could possibly be what I need to do next time. Is put XRP and Pepe. You know what, Mark? You just gave me a good idea. I think I'm gonna do that for the next live stream. You know what? I can even make one right now on ChatGPT, or I can make a thumbnail on Canva. Is another program that I use, and I could actually put that on this live stream right now. Or like, once I get done with this live stream, I'll put that as the thumbnail and just change it over and watch my views jump up to like 1,000 views in this video. But yes, that's an idea. Thanks for the idea there, Mark. I might have to do that. Appreciate that. But yeah, guys, that's gonna be it for this live stream. That was awesome. It was good. I'm glad you guys came out. We got a few requests. We talked about Axie Infinity. We talked about XRP and XCU, which is copper is XCU, APLD, and a few others here. And I think that's, yeah, you know, we had a pretty decent live stream for what it was. I actually do need to get back to doing some more shoveling of snow here. So yeah, I hope you guys stay warm and stay safe. I'm gonna try to do that as well, and I'm gonna try to look for some coins to get into. Let's see, Bitcoin at 88,400. Okay, and then gold looks like it's climbing. So I don't know. Maybe I gotta get back into PaxG and get back into Bitcoin again for a long. But yeah, nah. Actually, I'm just gonna wait till Bitcoin gets to the 90K. I'm gonna short it, and if Bitcoin goes down to 87K again or 84K, then I'm gonna try to long it. I think right now, as far as Bitcoin goes, we are just chopping up and down, messing up the bulls and the bears. As soon as people get profit, the market comes in and it takes the profit away from them. I've seen some people complain about that in the Discord. They're like, "Oh, I was up on gold, or I was up on silver, or I was up on Bitcoin," and then it gets taken away from them as far as like day trading goes. They're like, "Oh, I ended up with a loss, and I was up like $100." Yeah, it's the kind of choppiness that we got in the market right now. So I think it's a lot more prudent to look for levels, and I think levels for Bitcoin above us is 90,500 and 91,400 are areas to take profit on longs if you're still in the long, or short if you want to short it. And then we could try to short Bitcoin down to 84K or even 87K again, and try to look for longs at 87K and 84K. So there you go. That's it. That's Bitcoin in a nutshell there, guys. I'll see you tomorrow. I'll try to do a normal time slot at 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern time. Wednesday, I'm going to try to do an early afternoon stream because I got to get work done on one of my cars here. So I got to bring it over to the mechanic and stuff like that. So tomorrow will be a 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern time live stream. And then Wednesday will be a 12 to 2 p.m. Eastern time live stream. Take care, guys, and good luck trading and investing in whatever asset you get into. And like Trade Intuition says, it's always time to make this money. Let's go, guys. I'll see you guys around. See you tomorrow. Maybe I kind of messed it up. I'm not Trade Intuition, but he does say something similar to that. But over here, guys, if you haven't done so already, check out my WEEX referral code there. To join a cryptocurrency exchange that I'm using, and you'll get like $30,000 in bonuses if you are interested in getting some free money to trade with. WEEX is a good cryptocurrency to get started with here. A good cryptocurrency exchange, I should say, not yeah. Good cryptocurrency exchange to get started with here, and that's the referral code that you need for the bonuses, the $30,000 in bonuses. All right, guys. See you tomorrow.